Hi everyone, this is Yodit. Happy weekend and end of week 4. I hope everyone is staying very cool this weekend. In my fourth Tiltw, I will be reflecting on my project weeks and talking about goals that I have for the last 2 weeks of this appy. I really enjoyed my project weeks. I thought that the assignments we had really aligned with my pre-appy goals. One of them was being able to become a more effective public speaker, and I think topic discussion and journal club were really good opportunities for me to see what I'm good at and things that I can improve on in front of my peers and in a comfortable space. And also I've wanted to be more involved in the academic side. So things like writing my script for the fake EMR on Digication was really cool because this past spring I was in the general medicine elective, and also participating in the adaptive case gives you a different perspective of what it's like to write up a case and have the answers, but also to help guide other students on getting to the right answer. So some strengths and weaknesses that I've noticed from my presentations. I think strengths would be giving rationales for why I chose my topic for topic discussion and for journal club. Shirley and I mentioned it in our trailer. I think I'm pretty good about maintaining eye contact and not relying on notes, and that comes with practice, and I hope that I can continue to do that in future presentations. This appy has really made me appreciate handouts because there's so much potential with them, and being intentional with your color coding or making it more interactive can be very fun for your audience. And now we know about all of these different Web 2.0, PictoChart, and WordPress, and all of these things that are available to us to make our presentations more effective. For weaknesses, I think filler words is a big problem in talking fast, but I'm more aware of it, and I'm confident that ultimately I can really get better at minimizing them. Also with upspeak, both in topic discussion and journal club, I don't think you realize this until you go through a presentation, but there are definitely times where you can focus more on specific slides or topics and taking your time, and other topics that you can just go through more quickly. So for example, with journal club yesterday, I think a good point was made where towards the end, if the audience, we've been hounding with questions, it might be more effective to just talk through them as opposed to continue to ask questions and get blank responses or even exhaust your audience, which is not what you want. Another good point that I think was made yesterday was about the type of questions that you ask, because with journal club and maybe with other presentations, you want it to be interactive, but balancing out the higher level and lower level type questions, because Shirley and I both read the article several times, and that is not something that we could have expected from the audience. So asking super specific questions may be a little bit discouraging and maybe a little bit awkward. So just knowing the type of questions, where your audience is coming from, and if it is a longer presentation, then just towards the end, knowing you can pick things up, ask the audience if they have any questions, and maybe just save a little bit of time. So for things that I'd like to start for the last 2 weeks, when I go back on rounds, I'd like to make an extra effort to get to know the team. I met some of them last week when I did my in-service, but I think it's just important to reintroduce myself and state what I can do and what I can offer for the team. Working on patients earlier to make sure that I'm prepared for both rounding and farm rounds. It was much easier to prioritize sleep when I was on projects, and I noticed that it made me more productive during the day. So if I can get started on working up patients either today or tomorrow, for sure, it'll save me a lot of time and make me prioritize things like we should all kind of have a balance and making sure that we're still doing things that we enjoy and eating well and also getting sleep, which is very, very important. And then also another thing I'd like to start is just working on my final patient presentation. I've pulled articles that I will most likely need. I've reviewed the rubric and looked at past examples on Facebook, but that deadline is quickly approaching and it'll be here before we know it. So just setting a little bit of time every day to work on it will be ideal. For stop, I'd like to stop saying so, and other filler words and colloquialisms during my presentations. I think I'm becoming more aware of them, and now the next step will be just trying to minimize them, either throughout my everyday life, but also definitely during presentations. And then for things that I'd like to continue, I think working ahead on patients, on final patient presentations, it just goes a long way. I know that knocking out the blog and the infographic while I was rounding made my project week a little bit less stressful. I think things that I'll continue, also what worked for me on rounds, towards the end I was printing out like the patient information a little bit from the BI portal, which was easier for me to use on rounds as opposed to like writing everybody's information again. So I'll probably end up doing that, and just the style that I had. I'm much more comfortable with the BIDMC portal now, so I'm less worried about going back to rounding. And then reaching out to peers for when we're doing work, and also to see if there's anything that I can do to help others. I think this APPI and working so closely with Shirley has been super helpful because we have a set plan, we know where we're going to meet, and we're very productive when we do meet up, but also with other students, just knowing that I can message, or we can message each other and say, I'll be working here if anybody needs a buddy, or even just being able to ask the student Cs about their experience on projects. So student As, if you all do ever need advice or suggestions, please feel free to reach out. And as you all were active participants for me during my topic discussion in Journal Club this week, I want to continue to provide that same level of participation and engagement for the student As, just because it makes the whole experience a lot more fun, and I think we get a lot more out of it. So I think that's it for me. I look forward to going back to rounding this week. I can't believe we're on week 5 already, but I'm eager to make some of the improvements that have already kind of been happening. Thanks, guys.